Morning guys, welcome back to Alan's Allotment. Right, so today it's the next day and we're going to try and get the rest of those beds finished off over there, get them filled up with the compost. It's going to take quite a bit of filling, but we're going to crack on and see how far we get on. Then if we've got time and energy, we'll see about getting this cucumber, a couple of aubergines, maybe those two little dwarf French beans, and these tomatoes here, and the last of the flowers put out into the polytunnel, and perhaps some of this basil planted as well. Right guys, I've already got that one filled and I've got that one filled as well now. Now I've had to go and buy compost obviously because I used the last of that second compost bin down there and I put a bit in each of these to just, you know, start them off because they're quite, because they're quite deep, especially this one. So we've had to buy compost again, but then this is a one-time thing. You buy the compost, you fill your beds, and then this allotment isn't that large and it's tidy now. Potentially all I need to do with the 3 big pallet bays I've got, if I can make that much compost, and as they rot down, give me approximately 1.5 pallet bays, should be enough to just top dress all of these beds going forward. We might need to buy an odd bag. Anyways, let's crack on and we'll get this filled up, I think. Going to need a lot more compost, I think. This isn't going to be even going to touch it, I don't think. But we can always fill this one up at another day, a later date, and finish it off. At least I've got another 2 beds there ready to plant into, and half a bed there as well. Some crops will be getting harvested, etc. It'll leave me more space. I don't know. It's going to make a hole in it, put it that way. But I've used loads and loads of compost already to fill these 2. And I think I've another 4 bags which would probably fill this, actually, when I'm thinking about it. It might just fill it, these are the 4 bags. Right, I'll crack on and get this done. I'll catch you later. Right guys, I've just rescued this little bumblebee and took it out of the water bottle to dry off. I'm not entirely sure how it got in there, but it did. But we've took it out and we'll leave it to dry out there, and then hopefully she'll recover and fly away shortly. So just overnight you can see we've managed to capture all this water already. There's possibly 75 litres in there already. This is a 210 litre barrel, and already just with a bit of rain last night we've caught about 75 litres. So the guttering system's working fine. Right, so we've got this bed finished now. And as you can see, that's a really deep bed as well. These sleepers, I think these ones are the old sleepers, and they're about 9 or 10 inches deep. And we've completely filled this with compost. Now, Tony O'Neill on Simplify Gardening, on one of his videos I remember him saying that compost is the biggest investment you can make for your allotment, and he's absolutely right. So the initial outlay, yes, it can be run into quite an expensive process unless you can make your own, but they're filled now and I just need to keep them top dressed, hopefully with the compost that I make myself going forward now. We did buy bulk bags in for these 2 years ago, but to be honest with you, it fetched more problems than it helped, because in the first year I got devastated with eggs hatching out of it and devastated the crops, and it took another 12 months of dressing it over with compost to get it somewhere near right. Anyway, we're going to need all of these topped up again with my compost this year, hopefully. So, we're now finished with all these beds. And as you can see, I've run out of compost again. And I've still got about 3 inches, 4 inches possibly, to go in this one. But because of how deep this bed is, I could just grow in that now without buying any more compost, wait for my own compost at the end of the year, and then fill it with that. And that's probably the way I'm going to go. But what it does do is give you instant effect. That's now 1, 2, 3. 4 more beds to plant straight into. Now in total, with those 4 beds plus the one at the end, which we did use a lot of my own compost for, and this one here, which we used a lot of my own compost for, in total there's 40 bags of compost gone into this, and 28 bags of wood chip. But it's like, as I say, it's a one-time investment, guys, and then but this is money well invested as well, because when this breaks down, it'll be harvested to make compost, ultimately saving costs going forward, along with all of the grass that I get from the 2 pens, from the leisure area, the chicken pen, and if I want to I can go and cut it from round the back of here as well. But yeah, so we've plenty of green material. We want to get a couple of years out of this at least, and of course I use this same stuff when I clean the chickens out, and I use the deep litter system where I put about 5 bags of this into the chicken pen and I rake it over periodically, and when it comes out of there it's bone dry. Keeps the chickens clean and healthy, and I use that into the compost bin as well. So recycling everything, guys. Right, I think I'm going to have a cup of coffee and then I'm going to get the rest of these plants out in the polytunnel. Oh, the 3 plastic compost bays that we moved, we put the rest into here, and as you can see, this is already, we topped this nearly to the top. It's starting to drop down already, and then there was a little bit surplus, and we made a start on the next one as well, guys. Inside the tree house that we made out of pallets, if you want to have a look back on the videos you can find that. We've got the orange tree, we've got the apricot, which as I say is going to end up dwarf. That top section is dead. Put a couple of shelves up in here as well so I can just stack pots and things like that. Lemon tree is fully recovered. Dropped a few leaves because it wanted water this time, so we've watered that. The kale's gone mental basically in here, as has the lettuce, and the peach tree seems to be doing quite well, and you can see the peaches there. There are more, but not many I don't think. Yeah, there's some more there. And another couple there. There might be more than I can actually see for the foliage. Yeah, there's some down there as well. And another biggish one here. I'm not sure what you can see that, guys. Sorry about the camera work. Right, the other little Crimson Bonfire peach has got peaches on as well. I need to get that planted. These are two, it's an orange, a lemon and a lime that we put in little things 2 years ago, I think it was. They need repotted as well. And these lettuce, well, they've pretty much gone over now. We maybe salvage something out of them. But yeah. And then we need to start using these as well. I have a funny feeling the neighbours are going to end up with some of my daughter and my son. But we need to start using these as we've got the second batch on the go now. Really pretty flowers on these broad beans. Quite pleased with how... Now, yeah, I took the protection cage off this. It's probably tempting fate, but like I said, we're going to leave to see what Mother Nature does. But I want these ones for the hearts, and as you can see, they are already starting to make a heart. So if we get a few damaged leaves on the outside, well, so be it. But they are already starting to heart now. And likewise, these are the cauliflowers. We're taking the curds rather than the leaves, but hopefully we won't tempt fate and get lots of damage on these. They were very well established to give them a chance that if they did get attacked by anything, they would have a fighting chance. And so far, I'm not seeing any black fly on the beans. So that's good. The trials of gardening, guys. I've now got them all in the polytunnel. Thankfully only in the path, and hopefully it doesn't make its way to the beds and uproot the plants. Right guys, I'm in the polytunnel now, and I've just put about 1.5 bags of well rotted cow manure over this portion of the bed that didn't get done because the garlic was in, and I'm just about to break all of this up, level it off, get the halos in place, and we'll bring you back when we're ready to plant. Right guys, as you can see, we've got the bed prepped. We've got a good 2-inch layer of farmyard, well rotted farmyard manure. Now all of these beds, there's about 6 bags of farmyard manure top dressed on here before we planted. And the theory is that the top layer, the farmyard manure, will give all of the plants a really good start once they're planted in. And then we can feed them as the season goes on in the tops of the halos and keep them watered and dry by using the halos through the season. So the first one I'm going to put in is this cucumber that's long overdue. And you'll see I've put the string in place here, and I hang these strings from a washing line basically. You know the one with the steel wire that runs right through the centre. They've been in here about 3 years, and basically this one needs supported and propped up now. So what I've done is I've prepped all of these first, and basically we used the relevant pots for to drop in, filled them up, we watered them all thoroughly, take the pots out so I can just pop them straight in like that. And this one's an F1 Green Fingers cucumber baby. And the cucumbers were bought in because I had no success with my cucumbers this year. They didn't germinate at all. And with the string we have these clips here that I'd seen on Tony Smith's channel last year. And they are simplicity themselves, and they work really well. And in here there's a little groove so that when you close it up it grips the string, and you just put this under the bottom leaves. It can be a little bit tricky, but you want to pull a little bit of tension on your string, not too much. You don't want it that tight that it's actually straining and could possibly uproot the plant. And that is basically it. Then all we do is wrap the plant around the string and that's it. It's actually already getting flowers on baby. It's actually got baby cucumbers on already here. Actually that clip isn't on as well as it should be. I didn't quite get it all symmetrical in the clip. But it is now locked in place. We've got that little bit of slack because as the plant grows and gets heavier it will take the tension up on that. So that's that. We've also hung the strings up here as well. We've already put the strings in place for the tomatoes up here as well. I haven't done this side yet. That's probably what I'm going to do because these are getting to a point where they can be strung up, but these ones don't need stringing up yet. So you'll see I'd already planted 2 of my aubergines that I grew from seed as well, just because we've got the space, and we'll see how they come. These are a different variety of the grafted ones which I bought in because I wasn't sure whether these were going to grow or not. So I bought 3 grafted cucumbers, variety Scorpio, not cucumbers, aubergines. So we're just going to get these tomatoes in there now, take off the bottom leaves and pot them up basically, right down, and there we go. We'll give them a water when we're finished. It's that simple. It takes a little while to prep the halos, but to be honest it's quite leisurely and pleasant. These are the Crimson Crush that I grew from seed, and you see they've got a good root structure on. They are really dry now, so they're going to get, I purposely left them dry till we get them in here. But what also happened is I ran out of compost. We used it in the beds over there. So this time, with these ones I'm planting now, all I had left was the farmyard manure. So I've actually filled the halos up with farmyard manure. Now, one of 2 things will happen. Either that will be a massive boost for the plants, or it might burn them, but it's highly unlikely because it's well rotted. It shouldn't. But all these other plants around me are all thriving in here. And of course, as soon as they put their roots down through the halo, they hit this farmyard manure anyway. And that's given them that initial feed and will keep them going for quite a while till the first trusses come on the tomatoes. And then we'll start to feed with a regular tomato feed. Right, I'll crack on and we'll get this done. Right guys, we're all done. I'm going to make our way home now. So basically I've got all of these strings in here now. Got all the strings up. And I've got the first turn around these tomatoes here, and I've took all the suckers off. And you can see how these are really coming on now. All of these tomatoes and these ones are the same. They were planted at exactly the same time, but you can see the difference with these being planted out and these only going in now. These aubergines, these grafted aubergines, are really, really massive. But what we'll do is we'll use canes and stake these because they won't get as big as the tomatoes, and likewise with the peppers if we need to. The flowers are all flourishing nicely. Grapevine, I've just cut that back a bit. I've just give everything in here a good water, and as you can see there is water in the halos and they're just finishing draining off now. It's boiling in here now, so we give everything a good drink. And I took the cane out and I've put a string round the melon now, and as I say, these are all the strings ready for these ones when they're ready. Another grafted aubergine. They're Scorpio, and these ones I've grew myself are long, early long purple apparently. Never grew them before. These cucumbers are an F1 variety and they're all female flowers. Never grew these before either, but they just look good. And I thought, well, if they're all female flowers, that'll save me any problems. Female F1, that's all it's called. What they taste like, I don't know, but we'll let you know if you follow along. Again, all the flowers are watered, peppers, and you'll see I've got 1, 2, 3 stations left here. But I've got no chilies in this year, so I might just go pop to the garden centre on the way home and grab 3 chili plants, excuse me. So, hope you've enjoyed today's little video. Right guys, thanks for popping along today. Thanks for your visit, thanks for your likes, dislikes, subscriptions, and of course all of your comments. I do try to reply to every single one of you, unless I miss one, but then I usually find it at another later date and do respond. So if you do leave a comment, do check back. I do reply to every comment. So thanks again guys, thanks for your support, thanks to all my long-term subscribers who of course have been there with me right through the journey. As always guys, wherever you are in the world, please stay safe, be practical, keep yourselves out of harm's way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.